Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was kind of hoping to ask this to the governor, but you can probably do it. It's more of a...
If not, I'll have him call you.
That'd be different. In light of the last bill he vetoed. But what makes you so eager to partner with the federal government on the Medicaid expansion in light of the Fed's poor financial condition, which the governor did refer to early on in his remarks, and giving them more control over our state's health system? Because whenever you take their money, we lose any control over what we do and what we, our recipients get.
I don't know that I would use the word eager to partner with the federal government. The reality is that the Affordable Care Act is happening. Everybody in Michigan, January 1st, 2014, will have to have insurance, or they'll have to pay a penalty to the federal government. That's just a fact that's happening. As far as Medicaid expansion goes, in looking at that, Michigan's in a unique place. If we expand, we're able to cover services that we're already covering in partnership with the federal government. And the governor referred to it. One of the biggest components of this is that everybody in Michigan is going to have to buy insurance. And the way it works is that there's a donut that's created, because our current Medicaid levels, our thresholds are about 40 to 50% of the federal poverty level. The exchange, individuals don't qualify for a subsidy on the exchange until they're at 100% of the federal poverty level. So if you look at it, there's about 320,000 Michigan residents who fall into that donut hole, where they'll be required to buy health insurance, but they won't be able to afford it. To put it into perspective, you could have a family of 4 making $25,000 a year that would be required to go out to the open market and buy health insurance or pay the penalty of the federal government. Now, most of those will pay the penalty of the federal government and go uninsured. So it makes sense to our residents here in Michigan. It makes sense that we're able to control the situation. Obviously, there are the Medicaid components as far as benefit levels and co-pays and those types of things that we determine at the state level. And in looking at that, the bottom line is the Affordable Care Act. The Supreme Court ruled, Obama's still the president, it's coming, and we feel that by expanding and by trying to be innovative here, we're much better poised to deal with our residents than the federal government is. And so we don't view it as the federal government coming in and telling us what to do. We're saying we want a seat at the table as we move forward. Now, the governor mentioned that the federal government may change its plans. The federal government may change the rules as we go forward. They do have some major budget pressures out there. As the governor mentioned, by putting money away will enable us to better deal with those challenges that come our way. Now, I also am a firm believer that as the federal government changes the rules, they're not going to change the rules and protect the states that didn't expand at the expense of the states that did expand. They're going to come in and look at the system statewide, and all the states are going to have to pay more if they start shifting costs to the states, irregardless of whether they expanded or not. They'll go to some sort of blended federal Medicaid rate or whatever else it might be. The key here is that the state, through the Supreme Court decision, retains the right to determine eligibility. If the federal government down the road changes the rules on us, the governor's saying we'll have enough money to create a workout solution for the state of Michigan. We'll sit down at the table and say maybe we need to change the eligibility, maybe we need to do something different because the ball game has changed. But believe me, we've spent hours and hours and hours. Our DCH director, Jim here, who's sitting, he knows this in and out better than anybody. And I'll tell you that we strongly feel that doing this is in the best interest of Michiganders, taxpayers, residents, and everybody, because it puts us in a firm position going forward.